What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Women want the euphoria. Women want the euphoria. And before I get into it, let me shout out one of my best commenters, David Green, the Savage Lion, who really need to be doing videos himself. Not so subtle hint. But he got some really great comments, and he mentioned something about the euphoria. Now, I've talked about it before, mentioned it several times. And, I've said Master Yao, who I've mentioned a lot, calls it romantic intoxication. In my book, A Player's Eyes, I call it the pleasure. I called it the pleasure. And I even did a video really getting into it a few years ago, and it was called The Secret of the Game, featuring Pusherman. And I'll put a link for that in the description box, because anybody following me a long time, you remember I didn't have the jazz, but I had this song called Pusherman, and I played the full song just to say, look, this is the game right here. And I'll let y'all listen to it. The link is down there. And in fact, it's where I got that statement I'll use a lot. A woman, when she's, addicted to a man, instead of tapping her arm, she's tapping her thighs. And all the euphoria is that man that's that good feeling women get when they with a man that turns them on sexually. You can say it's romance. They might even say they're in love, which is really lust. That they just feel good. Their toes curling, everything. In fact, and it's not even new. I mean, Master Yao had given it a term, but women had talked about that. I listen to women talk about that, just use different terms since the 80s. I remember this nerdy girl saying, yeah, we want that feeling like the wind is flowing through our air and everything. Because women need to feel something, and it really goes down to a medical level. You got hormones like oxytocin and all of that. Like, I haven't really got into the hormones, but it's definitely hormones when they feel something for a man. And David actually made that comment on that video I did yesterday, like women not being sexually attracted to genuinely good men. Those genuinely good men, they weren't given the euphoria. They weren't making them feel a certain way. And let me address a couple of things about that, because one of the things that really get on my nerves is when people get on there and they'll say, yeah, these BW this and that. It's kind of funny. There's a big move of talking about passport brothers and everything, but I doubt these guys have been overseas. Seriously. Because if you have, or even just in this country, just dealt with like women of different races who live right here in this country, you'll see women are women. Women are women. And, and also that thing, people say, they're going for Pookie and rape, right? Get off of that. One of the deadliest players I'm familiar with is a doctor, a respected doctor. I ain't going to give any more because there's a possibility of getting sued. But seriously, you got professionals, whatever. But the thing is, regardless of whether they some street dude or some educated dude, they bring in that pleasure. In fact, when I talk about in my books, Mr. Goodbar, I say women are addicted to Mr. Goodbar. It's the same thing. A woman will meet that guy who gives her that pleasure, that feel good. That feel good got her humming and stuff. It can. I'm gonna tell you, it's powerful enough to literally change a woman's body. And it's no logic to it, unless you apply logic to the hormones going on. Then it makes perfect sense. That's why, a woman to be with somebody, she's like, why she with me? He bought the drug. He gave it to her. In fact, Mr. Goodbar, the way he does it, he don't just hand her the drug. He just don't hand her the drug. He give her a little sample. He give her a little bit on the pinky, let her sniff it. Then when she wants some more, she doing whatever she can for it. And I talked about that in my book, Nice Guys and Players. I said, because I just called it just arousal in that book. And, it's just when women get under that spell, that's when you get a woman who will have a perfectly good husband, family, and leave that husband for it. In fact, I don't get into TV shows that much, but I will use one as an example. That show, Sex Life, on Netflix. That show on Sex Life, because the story. The woman had the perfect husband. He even looked like a Chad. Definitely was in the body game and everything. Had money, look, status. Gave her 2 kids. Got her in a big house. But she was still hooked into that kind of dude. Even though the other dude had some money and all of that, he was a little bit wilder. He gave her that good. He gave her that pleasure. Had her hooked. And look, I'll give you a straight spoiler. I'll never forget at the end, she decided she's going to keep both of them. She went back to the guy who gave her that good, Mr. Goodbar. And she was like, she loves her husband. She going to stay with him. She ain't going to leave him. Then she looked at dude, now fuck me. She under that drug, she ain't get it. And let me be clear about that drug. That drug has nothing to do with the imprint. Ain't nothing. The imprint, that's just merely the first 3 guys that had sex with her. Not the first 3 guys that gave her an orgasm. Shoot, you got some women out there, they got a high body count and never had an orgasm. It ain't that or even satisfied. Shoot, you talk to most women, they not being satisfied sexually. But, the imprint is the first 3 guys who penetrated, the combination of them, period. Now, the guy who turned it out, that's somebody different. And it is literally like a drug. It's not an imprint because a woman can get off the drug. Hard as hell. But, the best way for her to get off is to get a guy who brings it to her equally. Bringing it back to that whole Mr. Goodbar thing. Because what women usually do, and I talked about this in my book, Sexual Chemistry, they'll get into that Mr. Goodbar. He turning them out. He got her hollering and stuff, quivering, ready to leave stuff, ready to leave a job, ready to sleep in a homeless, in an abandoned house. All right, got all that going on. But then, he probably a dog or something. She got to roll out for whatever reason. He feel like the Goodbar don't actually feel like breaking up the wedding, the marriage. So he'll drop her. Women will usually talk trash. Those are the ones they'll talk trash about it. Say, man, these men are all dogs and stuff. Until another Goodbar makes a sin that can keep that fix up. That's why you get some women, that's all they look for. In fact, that plays into that, people will talk about alpha widows. That actually plays into that. And incidentally, just to be clear, the imprint and alpha widow are not the same things. People think that's the same. No. There's a big difference. Because, in fact, a woman's imprint could really be from rape. I know a woman imprinted through a gang rape. So she ain't feeling those guys otherwise. But still affected her life. Or incest or something. The imprint is just that. It's kind of neutral. But being turned out, oh, that's totally different. You can get a woman, she can be up in her, I know of a woman who was up in her 60s, didn't have an orgasm until she was up in her 60s. And she definitely wasn't imprinted by the same type of guy that gave her that orgasm. Because they tell me stuff. Remember, a third of my clients are women. She told me, she even said I can share it as a lesson. She said she ain't never had an orgasm until she dealt with this one guy. She was in her 60s. He gave her that drug. And she was going crazy over that guy. I ain't going to get too much into it. But that was that drug. See, that's the thing. See, here's the thing. And in fact, check out that Netflix show, Sex Life. If you look at that situation, it laid it out perfectly. Had the one guy, he had all the physical stuff. He had the looks, body build, height, all of that shit. He had all the shit guys think God needs. But the problem was he wasn't turning her out. And she was sexually frustrated with him. She was sexually frustrated. She trying to go crazy. She trying to get some from the dude, get down with him, and dude want to watch a football game. Shit, they even went to a swingers party, tried to like fire the shit up, and she still ended up going to the other guy. Ended her last line, "Now fuck me." She want that drug. Instead of tapping her arms, she's tapping her thighs. But that's that euphoria. That's why I say, I've said in a video recently this week, or even in that video where that comment came from, we ain't talking about sex enough. A lot of guys think all they have to do is, just pay some bills and all of that. It'd be great if that's all it took. Now, you might have a few women here and there, that's all it takes. Because women get turned on by certain things, but you got to go with what the likelihood is. And indeed, that's why that's why you got that dual mating strategy. Because you get a lot of women, and if y'all wonder about what I've said about cheating, go through my archives. Incidentally, real quick, just a real quick tangent. Instead of asking me a question or something, just put a search in my archives. I've done a couple thousand videos. I ain't even sure. It might be 3,000 videos, especially doing 2 a day is a lot. I probably discussed it before. There's only so much you can say. There's only so much you can say. So just look up cheating. And if you look at women cheating and someone who was a side man before, I have no problems admitting that. I have zero problems admitting that. Women, they'll be with a good guy. They'll talk about him well. I remember one of my boys, he was a side piece for this woman, stroking her on the job, and she was talking about how much she loved her husband and everything. He's a good guy, good provider, but still needed that good. And let me say something. Let me be very clear about that part. Dudes need to get out this idea that women don't like sex. It's serious. I've been saying 1,000 times. If men get out of the idea that women don't want sex, just get that. That's a dumbass idea. They want good sex. That's why they will pay a gigolo $600 an hour. That's why they will make it rain on a male exotic dancer. That's why they will make it rain on a male exotic dancer. They want that sex, because trust me, anybody who's been a dancer and even know that whole life, they know, they make it rain, but then they'll hit the woman will hit the man up privately and say, hey, why don't we go to this room? Sure, that's how a lot of them make their money anyway. And what they doing it for? Sex. Because if you break down why some women will stay with a bad guy. And I just ask them, how was the sex? And most of the time, that's exactly what it is. And let me get out this lane. I don't feel like driving too fast. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah. Anyway, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. Alright, dude, you're going to be in this lane all the time. I'm giving you space, then you're going to come behind me. Motherfucker. Anyway. That's what it is. And see, the thing is, anybody who's actually been around some women, like, for the real players out there who actually get sex and don't be capping and shit, motherfuckers be capping, say they've been with all these women, but I can tell by their questions and what they write, they ain't. Anybody been with some women, y'all put in a 1 if you ever encountered a woman. Either you did it, or some guy she hooked up with did it, who got her just goofy. You ever see some woman, she be walking around mean. Like I told that story before, when I was living down in D.C. in this apartment, and had this apartment with all these thin-ass walls. I told that story before. When this woman had one boyfriend, all I heard was him moaning. In fact, she even told him to be quiet. Yeah, he said, yeah, my neighbor can hear you. And the dude started faking and stuff. Like, oh, all corny. He's a little twerp-ass motherfucker. A little twerp-ass. He should have been happy she was giving him some, because she was fine. But then I knew the moment she changed up men, because it was a Halloween night. All I heard was, ah, ah, ah. I was like, damn, go ahead, girl, get yours. That dude was tearing her up. And then a couple weeks later, I heard the ah, ah, ah at 2 a.m. I was like, okay. And listen, then before I finish this story, remember what I had said before about it. When I used to see her around with the twerp, she had this mean look on her face. But anyway, it was a couple weeks after that Halloween, and all I heard 2 o'clock in the morning. I went back to sleep. Woke up at 3. Come at me, come at me, come at me. I was like, God damn. When I saw that dude, big old hominy-greed eating white boy. It's like, shoot, one of those white boys that scare other white boys. But he's a big old dude. But she had the goofiest smile on her face. She was, I was like, man. But that's that euphoria, though. That's that euphoria. Because really, if you be honest, even with guys who want to get into that Pookie and Ray Ray bullshit, they giving women that euphoria. They giving her the drug. They supplying her. Hell, someone could be drug dealers in more ways than one. Because, and this is something Master Yao said in his book of Mummer. He said the traits that a woman wants socially are different from what they want sexually. Yeah, they want a gentleman socially, but they want a straight Klingon at some point. And I've talked about the 9 levels of orgasm. You can be all soft and easy at level 1. Level 5, shoot. She'll talk some shit to you to make you go harder. She'll be like, harder, pump, smack it. Shout out to Alexis K. Tyler. She said, shit, woman getting the dick so bad she wanted to slap somebody. She said, Alexis K. Tyler said that. She said, shit, they could make you slap somebody. Oh, man. I'm going to find that and put that in the description box. Seriously, women go crazy over it, so they're going to go crazy over guys who can bring it. And this don't, like, let me be clear about something. Let me be abundantly clear. This don't mean that, you know, you got to be some thug or some Pookie and Ray Ray or crazy or shit. You can be, like I said, I've known some professional dudes with turning out women just in the bedroom. As long as you can bring it in the bedroom, and women look for that in a man. I was just talking with a lady friend who's going to be doing a webinar for me last night. And my private crew know who I'm talking about. She's done a couple for us. She said, shoot, women be looking at everything. So they be judging you sexually. It's like when a woman looking at a man, she ain't looking at his bank statement necessarily unless she wants to divest him of money. She looking at everything, so she'll look at him, you know, see what's up, but then she trying to get an idea what he gonna do in the bedroom. She looking at how he moving, everything, shit. Hell, and they do look at your print. If you ain't showing much, just tell them you're a grower. Anyway, that's the thing. And if guys understand that one, I'm gonna be real. That's really what the game is. That's really what the game is. No matter what, because you think about it, if you're going to deal with a woman unless you want to be in a friend zone, she want to know if you can fuck. It's just that simple. And you can be, and I'm going to be real with you. You can be like that guy in Sex Life, looking at all the bells and whistles on the surface, but she'll look at that guy and say, damn, is that a motherfucker who can fuck? You know? Shit. I told you that story numerous times. I'm working on a job looking like a nerd, and a woman told 2 different people. They came back and told me, said, you know, I look like a nerd, but I bet you can fuck. That's it, y'all. That's it. Anyway, I'm up here in Aberdeen. Got to get some Peruvian stuff. Yo, if you in the Aberdeen area, because I'm finding out I'm getting more and more people checking me out here. They know me. But like I always say, walk up slow. Walk up slow. Because it was somebody, it was a young man. I was walking from Macy's. And stuff with my sons, walking to the car. And I saw this guy coming. And I was like, oh, shit, is this a motherfucker going to be trying to ask for some money? No offense, young man. That's why I say walk up slow. I go, y'all don't know me. I put it like this. You get some people, they think they judge me by on a video, but I immediately was like, okay, I might have to like curse this motherfucker out. But then you say, yo, you Uncle Rob. It's like, yeah, man, I'm a big fan. Okay, yeah. Walk up slow. So anyway, that's all I got, man. Gotta get my Peruvian. I love me some Peruvian, man. That charbroiled chicken, I love some Peruvian charbroiled. If you in Aberdeen, y'all know where it is. Over here, just a block up from Golden Corral. Y'all check that joint out. Plus, there's a fine woman that owns a store over here. I might just look in. Say, yeah, I'm getting something for my sister. Anyway, yeah, just joking. I'll tell her I'm coming in and talk to her. Anyway, y'all, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.